I'm going to make an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, our program will begin in just a short moment. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We're about to begin our program. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage founder and president of TAPS, Bonnie Carroll.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, TAPS family. This is absolutely our fancy dress-up dinner. And I'm so glad. And you know what is wonderful about TAPS? This is a no judgment zone. So I love that we have folks in ball gowns. We have folks in pajamas and sweats and your T-shirts and your whatever you want to wear, because this is our home. This is our family. And this is how we roll. I want to just acknowledge that at lunch today, a video was played that was intended for an external audience. It was done with honor, but it was done to share with the public the pain that we feel in our hearts. It was never intended. And I hope you can forgive me for that. And it was funny, say, a lot of folks kind of took responsibility, and I said, I can tell you, this is not the worst thing that has ever happened to us. That's one thing about our group. But it is now, tonight, actually, I just have to say, tonight is an extraordinary evening. I think I shared with you when we were not able to go to the Marine Barracks the other night that I told the commandant, I said, jokingly, I said, well, do you think the barracks would come to us? And I was expecting him to laugh. He did not. He paused, and he said, let me look into that. So tonight, the barracks are coming to TAPS. We have extraordinary guests with us tonight, but to introduce our evening, I'm just so honored that we have two MCs, co-MCs. We have our dear, dear friend, Kira Phillips, who, when you were starting with us, you were with CNN, and you covered TAPS way back in the early days. You have been with us telling our stories, holding the hands of our kids, making it safe, and getting America to recognize that there was a community of care, honor, and remembrance for all those grieving a loss. Kira Phillips is now with ABC News. She sits on our board of directors, and tonight she is accompanied by John Roberts, her husband, who is from Fox News. So you can imagine the dinner table conversation. Kira, John, we love you. You are family, and we're so excited that you're going to be our masters of ceremony this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kira Phillips and John Roberts.
By the way, Bonnie Carroll could never do any of us wrong. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, I think back to when I first met Bonnie. I was actually coming back from covering the war in Iraq. It was the second time, maybe. And one of the admirals who actually was in charge of the air campaign when I was embedded at that time, his wife, we ended up being on the same flight back. And she said, oh, you've got to meet this woman, Bonnie Carroll. She's created this organization, TAPS. And, and I was going back and forth covering the war. And of course, witness loss. And I saw firsthand how it impacted families like you. And I said, I would be honored to meet Bonnie Carroll. And after we met, that was it. Here we are decades later. So it's an honor to be here and to be a part of this incredible family and to see what Good Grief Camp does for your kids. They impact me too and have touched my lives for decades now. So thank you for accepting me and letting me in. And I'm very sorry that I used to work at CNN and he worked at Fox. It was always a really awful rivalry. And depending on where we were in the country, here's Kira from CNN, John Roberts from Fox, and then we'd be in another part of the country, Kira Phillips from CNN, John Roberts from Fox, So we try to be nonpartisan when it, comes to.
I like to try to spend as much time with Kira in the South as possible because, as you can imagine,
And I like to take him
we know which
usually
way
to
the applause goes.
the parts of the Midwest, right?
New York,
Anyway.
New York, it doesn't work very well. Los Angeles either. Isn't it great that we're all here? I mean, come on.
Maskless. Woo!
Wow, it has been a long, dark year, and it's just so great that we could all get together. And I know that the military and General Milley played a huge part in getting the vaccines rolled out and all of the logistics and everything that needed to happen over the past year. So, big round of applause to
Yes.
our U.S. military for helping make
Thank
that
you,
happen.
General. Well, when Bonnie asked me to join the TAPS Board of Directors, I was definitely both honored and humbled at the opportunity to bring awareness to the TAPS mission, obviously on a much wider level, as much as possible. And John and I have been involved, as Bonnie has mentioned, with TAPS, both personally and professionally, for almost 2 decades now. And I've been inspired by so many of our kids here throughout the years, and they've been impacted. I've watched how TAPS has impacted your children and your families and everything that TAPS has provided for them.
Yeah, even our kids, Sage and Kellen down there in the front, by General Milley and Bonnie's table, have been inspired by the TAPS families. They've really grown up for probably 5 or 6 years now. They were really introduced to TAPS, and we're really glad to have them with us here tonight. They've met a lot of the peer mentors, and they just know what an amazing, amazing thing that this organization does.
You guys can wave. It's okay. Kellen waves.
There are so many inspirational people and stories that make up the TAPS experience. And tonight we're going to celebrate the resilience that makes TAPS a family dedicated really to caring for those who are left behind when a nation like ours loses a service member.
For 27 years, as you know, TAPS has been a steady hand on the wheel 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And each year, TAPS programs, services, and support like what's happening here tonight continue to reach more and more families in need across the country. We're talking about more than 100,000 men, women, and children since 1994.
Bonnie was saying to us tonight when we arrived, she said that 70% of the people who are here this weekend are new. So it tells you just how much the need continues here. With COVID, so many things had to change so the seminar could happen. Friday night was always the night when you get to go to the Marine Barracks, as Bonnie was mentioning, for the evening parade and the performance of the famous Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon. When COVID limited the capacity, the number of people who could be at the barracks, as Bonnie said, she said to the commandant, well, is it possible that we could bring the barracks here? Not ever thinking that it would be possible. And she was given an affirmative answer. And this is going to make this evening very, very special.
So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are proud to welcome to the TAPS stage the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon.
Yes.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. takes great pleasure in presenting the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon. This performance celebrates the pride, professionalism, and esprit de corps that are hallmarks of the United States Marines. They represent all Marines around the globe who embody our Corps' values of honor, courage, and commitment. Your applause during the ceremony is most welcomed and is appreciated by every participating Marine. The Marines before you represent over 7 decades of marching and rifle drill precision. Premiering at Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. during the Sunset Parades of 1948, these Marines performed their precision drill in hundreds of public appearances throughout the United States and abroad each year. In addition, they represent the Marine Corps at numerous ceremonies in the national capital area, honoring visiting dignitaries and heads of state. Comprised of infantry Marines, the Silent Drill Platoon executes its sequence without cadence or verbal command. The M1 rifles they carry, with fixed bayonets, weigh in excess of 10½ pounds. Representing Marines around the world, the Silent Drill Platoon demonstrates the finest in Marine professionalism, esprit de corps, and marching precision. The platoon commander is Captain Isaac Seals V from Decatur, Georgia. The platoon sergeant is Staff Sergeant Henry Truzzi III from Louisa, Virginia. The platoon rifle inspector is Lance Corporal Xavier Cockrell from Riverside, California. Ladies and gentlemen, Marine Barracks, Washington, D.C. proudly presents the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Platoon.
How about another round of applause? That was pretty
How
amazing.
about that?
And I am told they are all going to come out and join us for dinner. So there is a chance to talk, be inspired once again, maybe learn a few moves.
I've been trying to teach our kids how to flip a lacrosse stick around, but oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. TAPS has been so fortunate to have developed a close relationship with the Department of Veterans Affairs over the past 27 years of its existence. That relationship is important to TAPS because so many of your loved ones are interred at VA national cemeteries, and many of you receive survivor benefits from the VA, or you get your health care, or you get your counseling there. Earlier this year, a dear friend of TAPS, Dennis McDonough, was confirmed as the 11th Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs. And for the McDonoughs, it's a very personal mission and their dedication to TAPS. Dennis's wife, Carrie, has been a volunteer at this event for many, many years and was even here yesterday. Many of you might have had a chance to interact with her during the first day here as she was helping out many TAPS families. While they were not able to be with us here tonight in person, Secretary McDonough is here with us tonight virtually. So take a look at the screen.
Good evening. Congratulations on your 27th annual National Military Survivor Seminar. It's a privilege to be invited to share some time with you as we start this vitally important celebration of our heroes who died while serving or having served this great country. I am so inspired by the TAPS story. It's a vibrant 27-year story about miraculous transformations of the pain and grief of loss into thriving, generous network of abiding love, compassion, and advocacy. And it's a powerful, uplifting story of courageous survivors like you, remembering the love, celebrating the lives, and sharing the journeys of your beloved veterans, our nation's veterans. So to my dear friend and dedicated VA partner, Bonnie Carroll, and everyone at the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your commitment. And thank you for your enduring partnership. You are all a family together this weekend, honoring your loved ones and remembering their lives of selfless service. President Biden, a survivor himself, has said that our country's most sacred obligation is to prepare and equip the troops we send into harm's way, and then to care for them and their families when they come home. When it comes to fulfilling that obligation, caring for our veterans and their survivors, there's no better partner than TAPS. And at VA, we'll move heaven and earth to help make sure you and your families have seamless access to the wide range of VA services and benefits your loved ones earned and that you deserve. In fact, TAPS is in daily contact with Ann Duff and our Office of Survivor Assistance that provides access to benefits like dependency and indemnity compensation, service members group life insurance, and healthcare services through VA's civilian health and medical program, also known as CHAMP VA. VA education benefits like survivors and dependents education assistance, the GI Bill, and Fry scholarships can help with your education goals, college and graduate degree program costs, career training, certificate courses, career counseling, on-the-job training, and apprenticeships. If you're launching or growing your career in fields like software programming, data science, and engineering, Edith Norse Rogers STEM Scholarship can help there too. For you veterans and future veterans, Vet Tech is a great resource. And to provide responsive support in partnership with TAPS, we've established the survivors only option at our education call center. For veterans caregivers, our caregiver support program staff can help ease the transition from the caregiver role to the role of survivor by connecting survivors with support during bereavement. And we are proud to help you honor your loved ones, many resting in one of our beautiful national cemeteries with lasting tributes to their selfless service. That's a dignified memorial service, headstone, marker or medallion, burial flag, and presidential memorial certificate. And our vet centers are there for you too, offering parents, spouses, children, and loved ones bereavement counseling, regardless of how a service member passed in service to this country. So many are impacted by the loss of a veteran or service member. Caring for grieving survivors, including those who have lost a loved one by suicide, is about prevention, intervention, and important post-vention support that is too often overlooked. So VA worked closely with TAPS in designing our post-vention toolkit for survivors because of the expertise and lived experience that TAPS brings. And our Veterans Crisis Line responders are partnered with TAP's National Military Survivor Helpline for crisis care. Likewise, TAP's helpline professionals are partnered with us. And together, they provide warm handoffs to make sure our survivors who reach out to get the right assistance and support they need, get it quickly. All of which is to say, with TAP's strong partnership, VA can be the nation's premier advocate for veterans, their families, their caregivers, and you, their survivors. Finally, our nation is making progress fighting the pandemic, but anyone not yet vaccinated is still at risk of contracting COVID-19 and still risk transmitting it to a loved one. That's why we've implemented an aggressive public health response to help care for you and for your loved ones. In fact, now all veterans, veteran spouses, veteran caregivers, and CHAMP VA recipients can get a COVID-19 vaccine at VA for free. Don't wait. Join the more than 2.5 million veterans we've fully vaccinated. Just go to your VA facility's vaccine clinic during walk-in hours, call to schedule an appointment, or visit va.gov/COVID vaccine. It's that easy. We owe that to every veteran, and we owe that to each of you. And here's why. The peace and freedom we enjoy as Americans has been secured by the sacrifices of generations of veterans, many of whom brought the war back home with them. Their sacrifices and your enormous sacrifices have advanced our founding principles, ideals, beliefs, and values as a nation. So this Memorial Day, we join you in moments of reverent silence and paying tribute to all those who chose to serve principles greater than self. And listen, those millions of flags we see adorning rows and rows of veterans' headstones across the hallowed hills of Arlington, in our VA national cemeteries, and in community cemeteries large and small, they aren't about how those veterans died. They're about how they lived. They're about how they served. They're about how they are loved and about how they loved this country. The lesson for us is that love lives on, and each of you is the manifestation of your veterans' love living on. We are all richer for your journeys of courage, strength, and generosity. May God bless our troops, our veterans, their families, caregivers, and survivors. And may we always give them and always give you our very best.
Well, tonight you're in for a very special treat inspired by our dear friend, Chef Robert Irvine, and prepared by Shane Cash and chefs from each branch of the military.
Yeah.
While you're enjoying your meal, yes, watch the screens for photos taken during the Dear World sessions that happened today. I know a lot of you participated. Photographer Chris Cruz is in the audience tonight. Chris, where are you? Can you give a wave? Stand up, show us. There you are. Thank you, Chris. Amazing, amazing photos. And we'll be back after dinner. Enjoy, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, our program will restart in 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. We're about to start our program. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Vice President, TAPS Survivor Services, Audrey Bogelstein.
Good evening, everyone. It is such an incredible honor to be here with you again and to be able to share just a little bit more about our incredible program, our Peer Mentor program. We have the great fortune of being surrounded by tremendous individuals who it's not enough that they are receiving the love and support from TAPS, but they have to take that and make that meaningful, share their loved one with others, and offer that hand that Bonnie has shared with us before is a lifeline. So I'd like to take a moment and say, if you are a peer mentor, we would love for you to stand so that we can recognize how you give back to everyone else around you. Please stand. Thank you. Thank you for your service. It is my great honor to choose from among you one person who has exemplified what it means to be a peer mentor, who has taken the time to reach out to others across the country to make that difference. We would love to be able to recognize all of the peer mentors, and yet tonight we will take the opportunity to recognize one special one. Her son would be so incredibly proud of the mentees that she has supported. Over the last year, 5 of them have come into her life, and she has been a rock for them. And it is without further ado that I would love to welcome to the stage my friend, Rosalind Hardin. Everybody, our peer mentor of the year, Rosalind Hardin.
Do I want to say a word? There's just too many words to even express the heart that's in here. I see TAPS as his heart. And a lot of times I'll sit in the corner and just watch this intricate heart just beat and the love. And I've never seen such amazing, strong people in all my life. Bonnie, Audrey, TAPS was created the year my son Xavier passed away. And I've never seen an organization that accepted everybody. I had something for my daughter-in-law to go to, everybody, my daughter. Even last night, they came to my rescue. They're amazing folks here. And so I'm just honored to be amongst such great, mighty warriors and survivors. Thank you guys so very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Kira Phillips and John Roberts.
you want to start?
Yeah, how about
Yeah.
that? I mean, peer mentor of the year, my goodness. I mean, there's so many people here who do such great work. And you know, Bonnie and I and Kira have talked about this many, many times, that TAPS actually saves lives. And you know, it's such an important thing. We've been to so many of these events, and you run into people who say, I was at my wit's end. I was about to give up. I didn't think it was worth living anymore. And then I met Bonnie and her team.
And I
And
was just,
suddenly, you know, a door opens.
and one of the survivors came up to introduce herself. It's her first year here, Tracy. She has 3 kids. And I told her, I said, you know, the hardest part is getting here for the very first time. And, you know, for so many years, covering the military and being embedded, and a lot of very special men and women that I've met, and I've lost a few to suicide, and also in combat. And a number of the spouses have said to me, it's just so hard to get there. It's so hard to reach out. It's so hard to accept the help. And I have to tell you, when they did finally do it, and I think you know this as well, it changed their lives. Not only their lives, but the kids' lives. And I have watched young children grow up to be such strong, brave, amazing human beings. And so I see firsthand what TAPS has done for so many years. And so for all of you that are here for the very first time, boy, I hope you feel the love, and I hope you feel what this family does for you and your kids. Do you feel it?
Yeah. And one of the greatest things about TAPS is, and we were talking to somebody earlier about this, is everybody's welcome. They let everybody in. And I don't know how many times I've called Bonnie, and I think most recently was the family of Vanessa Guillen down in Texas. I said, they need help. And Bonnie said, I'm on it. So boom.
And she is on it. Well, on her cell phone. And we've had friends call us up and say, oh my gosh, Bonnie Carroll just called us. We had no idea. Oh yeah, you will hear from Bonnie Carroll.
You're doing the Lord's work here. It's really amazing stuff.
Well, speaking of mighty warriors,
Yeah.
would you like to begin?
Are we introducing a mighty warrior or a mighty hockey player?
Both.
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 Okay. We are honored to have with us the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. He's right here in the front. He, of course, is a combat soldier who understands service and sacrifice. He's been a supporter of TAPS and the TAPS mission long before he ever got the big job. So,
As the 39th Chief of Staff of the Army, he recognized TAPS as the leading national organization of providing comfort and care to all those who are honoring their fallen hero. A Princeton graduate and a father of 2, he and his wife of 34 years, Holly Ann, still find time to volunteer with TAPS, especially when our TAPS kids get a little ice time with the Washington Capitals. And as we have heard through our sources, General Milley, pretty good on the ice himself.
that's because a lot of his family comes from Canada. So we are natural. I come from Canada as well. Hockey, we used to joke that when a child was born in Canada, the obstetrician would grab the child by the skate blades and pull it out. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our great honor to welcome the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley. Let's give him a big TAPS welcome tonight.
I'm going to give you a hug.
Well, just for the record, I was supposed to be in the NHL, but they spelled my last name wrong, so didn't make the draft. Did lead the league in penalties, though. So, hey, I want to thank everyone here, and I want to start off by just thanking Kara and John for all your support over the years to the United States military. It's been tremendous, and it's always welcome. So, thank you. And, you know, there's a lot of folks here tonight to thank. I do want to point some out. I'd like to point out the senior enlisted advisor to me, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, There's about 2.1 million soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines. We have a new Space Force, Space Guardians, that are in uniform in the active duty, the National Guard, and the Reserve. And most of them, probably about 96, 97%, are enlisted. CZ is the senior enlisted in the entire U.S. military. He is an Air Force Chief Master Sergeant, or what we call in the Army a Sergeant Major. He is a PJ, Air Force Special Operations, assigned to JSOC. A lot of time in combat, 3 awards for valor. So I'd like to have he and his wife, who's also an Air Force veteran, please stand to be recognized. CZ. And I'd also like to thank Tamara Sipes. Tamara, I don't know where you're at. Tamara, anywhere out there? Where you at, Tamara? There you are. Can you back in the room? She's the one who set all of this up for us tonight. So thank you, Tamara. And she had the great help of Sharon Paws and Michelle Davenport. So Sharon and Michelle, thank you as well. And I do want to thank Dennis McDonough, who's the Secretary for Veterans Affairs, who you saw a little earlier. I've known him for years. He's a great supporter of our military, and I want to thank him also for what he's doing at VA. It means so much to all of us, and I know it means so much to all of you. Thanks also. You're going to hear from them a little bit later, but the Voices of the Service, which is a quartet who are going to sing for us in a little bit. And how about that silent drill platoon from the Marine Corps? And, you know, you may not know it, Robert Irvine wrote the menu, but that's all he did was write the menu. The guys who actually cooked it were the military chefs led by Shane Cash. So where's Augustine? Augustine Ashu, where you at? Augustine, can you stand up wherever you're at? Where? There you are, right over there. So there's Augustine there. Let me just tell you a little bit about him, for example, because he's representative of everyone, really, who works for TAPS. He was an intern. He just got his PhD from Howard. And he immigrated to the United States from Nigeria. And 2 days ago, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. And I'd like to also give special recognition to 2 women who are here tonight. One who is sitting next to me, Tracy Volke. Her husband was killed in action, and he was one of my company commanders. So, Tracy, thank you for who you are and what you've been doing and your resiliency and perseverance in the face of extreme adversity. So thank you. And I also want to thank another great representative of everyone who's here, Elena Gutierrez. Elena, where are you at? Can you stand up for a second? Elena? Elena. Where's Elena? She ran away from me. Well, I met Elena a couple of years ago, and she is the spouse of Sergeant First Class Javier Gutierrez, who was a member of 7th Special Forces Group, who was killed in action. And she is the mother of 3 children, and she is now a citizen of the United States, having immigrated to this country And she is representative of all that is good about America and all that is good about all of you. So Elena, thank you for who you are and for your resilience and perseverance. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And it's wonderful to be surrounded by so many families. This event and the cause that TAP serves is absolutely critical to take care of families whose loved ones gave their last full measure of devotion in a noble cause of the highest order. And it doesn't matter how or where they died. They gave their life for their country. And TAPS exists because of the vision and leadership of one person, Bonnie Carroll. And as you all know, Bonnie herself is a survivor, and she identified the need for community in the wake of personal tragedy. And that's, in fact, what brings us all together tonight. And those who answer our nation's call understand the risks and share the kinship in those risks, a camaraderie that develops and is shared by those who fight and bleed together. Those of us in uniform, we all grieve the loss of one of our own, and we do that together. We have rituals, memorials, and honors. Every unit has a place where the names of those lost are listed. We set empty tables at formal events to memorialize those that cannot be with us. But the one thing we cannot provide is a community of real blood family, real family members who grieve and remember and live together. TAPS is that community. You all here in this room and the scores of youngsters next door provide for one another in a way that can never be fully measured. You take care of one another. Survivors who have been living with loss welcome with open arms those who have recently lost a loved one. You physically and metaphorically wrap them in your arms and help them through the process of grief. And for that, I and all of us who are still in uniform, thank you deeply. Next door, scores of youngsters sit with their military mentors. Women and men from across the services who are volunteering their time and talents to be a buddy to a brave child as they work through the grief that comes from the loss of a parent. They validate and help the children normalize and feel the very powerful emotions of grief, a product of profound love that the children process for their lost parent. And our military mentors are there to be with a child as they create memories at the Good Grief Camp. And although those mentors aren't in the room with us, they're next door, I'd ask that you all rise and give them also a round of applause. As a commander and veteran of multiple tours in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan and elsewhere, I've lost 242 soldiers killed in action under my personal command. Each one of those soldiers met their final moment because of decisions that I made, that I, as their commander, made. Decisions that every commander makes in war. But it was I who put each of them at the place and the time where they gasped their final breath. And in some cases, I was with them when their final breath left their body. And every day, each night, I see their faces and I hear their voices. In the wee hours of the morning, 2 or 3 normally, each night, My eyes snap open. I look at the ceiling and I ask myself, was it worth it? Was all the bloodshed of our killed and wounded, all the pain suffered by those children in the other room without a parent, is the pain of a parent without their child or a spouse without their soulmate, is it worth it? And every night, I can never answer that. But every night, my fallen soldiers answer me. And they tell me every night with great pride that they died in a cause worth fighting. They tell me to get up tomorrow morning and read a newspaper or watch the news, and you'll have your answer. For freedom of the press, it wasn't earned by the reporter or the editor. It wasn't earned by the publisher. It was earned by Henry Reisner and Brandon Titus, two of my soldiers killed in action in Baghdad. Go to church, or go to a synagogue or a mosque, or choose not to go at all. But remember that our freedom to worship wasn't given to us by the preacher or the priest. It was paid for with the blood of Lieutenant Adam Malson, Captain Mike Torlovsky, Specialist Chris Horton, Staff Sergeant Michael Simpson, all who made the ultimate sacrifice for the right for each of us to have free religion. The ghosts, they tell me that I can find my answer in every courtroom in America. As lawyers debate the innocence or guilt of the accused, and that all of us as free Americans should be thankful that our due process of law wasn't won by the judge or the lawyer or the jury. It was won by Captain Paul Vokey, Navy SEAL Patrick Feeks, Jeff LeBron, Mike Carlson, all killed in action. Or go to the polls and vote, or go to a protest. Go vote for this candidate or that, or peacefully march for one cause or another, and you're going to have your answer. For our right to vote and our right to free assembly, our right to free speech was not guaranteed by the politician or the pundit or the protester. It was bought and paid for in the blood of Waters, Baker, Folks, McFarland, and so many others who each gave their lives in defense of our country. So is it worth it? Is it worth liberating 3 million African slaves from bondage with the cost of tens of thousands at Antietam and Gettysburg? Is freedom worth fighting for? Was it worth stopping the brutality of Imperial Japan by men like my father in places like Saipan and Iwo Jima, where his best friend was killed? Was it worth ending the murderous regime of Nazi Germany at great cost on the beaches of Normandy, at the Siegfried Line, or at Bastogne? Ask the slaves if the Civil War was worth fighting. Ask the Jews of Auschwitz and Dachau and Bergen-Belsen if freedom is worth fighting for. Ask the murdered Chinese of Nanking if freedom is worth fighting for. Ask the people of Iraq and Afghanistan if they prefer the torture chambers of Saddam Hussein or the medieval brutality of ISIS or the Taliban. Ask them if freedom is worth fighting for. And we will have our answer. And to a person, they will all line up. They will all scream yes. Freedom is worth fighting for. Freedom is worth fighting for, and your loved ones and all of our fallen that we remember today and every day died fighting for a cause far greater than themselves. They died so others will remain free. And that is the most noble of causes, a cause that has brought down tyrannies and built up countries. Now, there's no words that I nor anyone else can ever say, and nothing we can ever do that is going to ease the pain or grief of the loss of your loved one. But it's up to us, every one of us, the living, to honor the memory and celebrate the lives of those who have fallen in that cause. And we can do that best by recommitting ourselves to our nation, to our values, to the cause for which they stood and for which we stand, to the cause for which they died so we may live. Our recommitment to you, the families of the fallen, is one way for us to honor their sacrifice and keep the flame of freedom burning long into the future. Let us recommit to the words of our greatest president, Abraham Lincoln, when he said, "These United States shall not perish from this earth." On Memorial Day, on this weekend, we come together as Americans to mourn, but much more importantly than to mourn, we come together to remember and to celebrate lives well led. Remember what we owe the brave men and women who lost their lives in service of this nation. And behind every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine is a family, and that is you. Behind every fallen comrade is a family who has made a unique and painful sacrifice, who is an exemplar of the American soul. So remember not only the fallen on this Memorial Day, but also you, the loved ones left behind. And this weekend here at TAPS, there is some comfort. There is comfort among those who share similar stories. Look around you tonight. There's over 500 people in this room. And they're all just like you. All of you have in common shared sacrifice and unbearable pain. Every one of you can understand the other. Every one of you has lost someone special. But there's also tremendous strength here. And it takes great strength just to be here, to share the story of your loss. There is strength in being among friends and among family, bonded in shared sacrifice. And tonight, as I look out into this audience, I not only see strength, but I see enormous courage. And each of you has courage, a quality that is difficult to describe, but easy to recognize. A spirit to face difficulty and pain that puts fear aside, regardless of the consequence. Each of you has courage. Each of you has that courage that you will carry on, no matter what the challenge of this weekend or next, this year or next year, this decade or next decade. And you'll meet and overcome every challenge your entire life. Remember, you are the strength behind your loved one. And you are still the strength of your family. And in fact, each of you is the strength of our nation. Share this strength. Share your story. Continue to connect and network. And most importantly, support each other. Support those soldiers and sailors and airmen and Marines and help them also get through their tough times. For each of them has lost a comrade. Of you has lost family. Help them cope with their loss of their brother and their sister in arms. Look to your left and look to your right tonight, and you will see strength and courage, and you will find comfort, and you will find your guiding light, your North Star. And when you go back to your communities, take that courage, take that strength, take that comfort, and bring it back there too. Share your story of strength with everyone, and let them know that you have the courage to make a difference and that your courage is born in a bond cemented in blood, a bond that will never, ever be broken. And to the American people, I say be thankful. Be thankful for everyone in this room. Be thankful that you can read a newspaper and worship as you see fit. Be thankful that you can vote for whom you please and protest for what you want. But remember, America, why you have those rights and who gave them to you. And be thankful. Be forever thankful. To every Gold Star family that could not be here tonight, all of us are reaching out to you as well. And we are so very proud of each of you for making a profound example of courage. And each of you here tonight is showing us strength and courage and inspiration every day. It's the greatest honor of my life, and it's an incredibly humbling honor to be standing here before you tonight, to have once walked among the giants who made the ultimate sacrifice on the altar of freedom. And to be with you here tonight, the families of our fallen, we're always going to be here with you, no matter what. Families are forever, and our love for you will live on forever. May God bless our fallen. May God bless all the families of our fallen, and may God bless the United States of America.
Well, I think I speak for us all when I say, thank goodness the NHL spelled his name wrong. And he didn't make it into the draft, because we would have been at a loss to have such an amazing combatant commander now leading our armed forces. So, General Milley, thank you for your great words tonight.
You're a great American. Well, actually, the general did mention Chef Robert Irvine and also Shane, that we are going to actually bring up to the stage now, the creators of that magnificent meal that you had this evening. Shane Cash is the vice president for concept development at Robert Irvine Foods. And yes, we have a freezer full of Robert Irvine Foods, don't we?
We've got crab cakes. We've got spiraled ham. We've got stuffed chicken breast. We've got cod, we've got salmon, and every time we open the freezer, there's Robert Irvine and his smile and his huge biceps staring out of the freezer at us.
So as I'm looking, at his 0% body fat, I'm thinking to myself, okay, it'll be really good to eat this food, or maybe I don't even want to eat it all. But we are very grateful for Robert Irvine and what he has brought to not only TAPS, but also healthy eating and a great message, obviously.
Right now, let's bring up Shane Cash and everybody from the military who helped prepare tonight's fabulous meal. Come on up, Shane. Well done. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure. Robert wishes he could be here. We've been filming a lot. We're bringing back Dinner Impossible, if you guys have ever watched that before. So that's being filmed a lot, and he makes me taste everything, as you know. So, but anyway, it's a pleasure, and I tell you, it's Bonnie. Thank you for inviting us to do this. It's really dear to our heart as a company, and you know how that works with us. I mean, without the team here, and and Wes, he kind of leads that. we reach out to Wes, and he really gets the team together, and we go around to different parts of the country and we work together. It's really a pleasure. It's the highlight of our company. And, we have under our brand, there's 9 different companies, and each company, we have an influence in the military in each of those companies. It's really true and dear to our hearts. So to the TAPS families, thank you for your time here, and thank you for what you represent. Bonnie, thank you for the realism of your organization. It's real. And, you can feel that, you see it, just as everybody has mentioned, and General Milley, it's amazing. You can really see the true feelings, and you guys live it. And we thank you for that. So thanks for the opportunity. I just want to briefly have everybody come by and tell you guys where they work and their names. And these guys have done an awesome job tonight. I hope you enjoyed the meal.
Master Chief Wes Tavares, Senior Enlisted Aide to the Chairman of Joint Chiefs.
CS1 Sierra Tyler, Enlisted Aide to the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
CS1 Danielle Hughes, United States Coast Guard.
CS1 John Toman, United States Coast Guard.
Senior Chief Derek Johnson, United States Coast Guard.
CSU Henry Takaro, United States Coast Guard.
Staff Sergeant Judy Luna, United States Army, Senior Enlisted Aide, Vice Chief Staff.
Staff Sergeant Linton, United States Army, Army Executive Dining Facility.
Staff Sergeant John Densham, the Army Chief of Staff.
CS2 Lafayette, Presidential Food Service, White House.
Sergeant Erica Vargas, United States Marine Corps, working over at the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mess.
Tech Sergeant Angela Powers, Enlisted Aide to the Chief of Staff, United States Air Force.
Master Sergeant James Claypool, Senior Enlisted Aide to the Chief of the National Guard Bureau.
Tech Sergeant John Simonis, I'm the Junior Enlisted Aide to the Chief of the National Guard Bureau.
Master Sergeant Tyler Gassman, Senior Enlisted Aide to the Vice Chairman of the Joint Chiefs.
Master Sergeant Jessica Wall, Executive Airlift Flight Attendant out of Andrews Air Force Base.
Staff Sergeant Luis Torres, Executive Airlift Flight Attendant, Joint Base Andrews.
Master Sergeant Adrian Molinet, Executive Airlift Flight Attendant, Joint Base Andrews.
Army Master Sergeant Shro Desai, NCOIC Chairman's Mess.
Staff Sergeant Swan Nguyen, United States Air Force, Executive Flight Attendant, Joint Base Andrews.
Let's raise our glasses to the chefs, huh?
Yeah, come on.
Here we go. Woo! Thanks, guys.
I've eaten, and you have too. We've eaten at DFACs around the world, and we're always surprised at how good the food is. But if you've ever had the opportunity to have a meal on Air Force One, that's something else. We were going down to Tampa, I think. It was the first presidential trip I'd taken with Trump after a hurricane. And we had steak and eggs for breakfast. And you think of, okay, you get some like fluffy whatever and a piece of, rubber meat. It was full steak on top of the most beautifully cooked eggs I've ever had. And I thought, wow, if you ate like this all the time, everybody looked like Howard Taft.
And he brought me back the Tabasco. I was very happy to have that.
Yeah, well, the Air Force One Tabasco, they're real collector's items.
All right. Well, Robert Irvine, as you all know, and if you are here for the first time here for the grief camp and for this special weekend, Robert Irvine has been a longtime supporter and friend of TAPS, and he couldn't be with us, as you heard Shane mention tonight, but he did want to send this message to you.
What's up, TAPS?
Taps. Yes, it's that crazy chef. You know me. I'm just saying, hey, I hope you're having a good time. I hope your food is good, because if it's not, I'll fire Shane. Only kidding, Shane. Taps, we love you. You do amazing things. All my Taps families sending you big hugs. And we'll see you soon.
And you too can look like that if you eat your power bar that's on your table there. Did you see him? Now you know what I'm talking about.
Just don't eat a lot of meals on Air Force One. You'll never look like that. Now, as we all know, America has got talent, and a lot of that talent is within our nation's military. And the voices you are about to hear have helped so many people rise above the challenges that life has thrown at them. Roll the tape.
Voices of service.
Welcome back, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let's start because we have a new audience. Please introduce yourselves.
Good evening, Master Sergeant Caleb Green, United States Army, retired.
I'm Jason Leon Hanna, Sergeant First Class, United States Army, active duty.
I'm Sergeant Major Crystal Reams, United States Army, active duty.
I'm Staff Sergeant retired Ron Henry, United States Army. And we are Voices of Service.
Fantastic.
We go into hospitals using music to inspire those veterans on a recovery journey. And personally, we all have suffered our share of traumatic experiences.
I got back from Iraq in 2004. It took me 10 years to realize that I had PTSD. And in my mind, I was still in Iraq.
You can't do it alone. And music can help all of us heal. We're here to spread that message to everybody.
It's so gratifying to use my voice to help other people get through what they've been through.
Getting to the Dolby Theater would be wonderful. So we need to get there and we need to be there.
Yes, we are ready. I know that we've helped people. And that, to me, that's what I live for every day.
I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can write my story. I'm beyond the archetype. I won't just conform. No matter how you shake my core, my roots they run deep. Oh, yeah, so little faith. Don't doubt it. Victory is in my bed. I know it. And I will not negotiate. I'm fighting. I will transform. And when the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling, whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. There's no mistake, no accident. When you think the final never said, think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise. I must stay conscious through the madness and chaos. I call on my angel. Don't doubt it, don't doubt it. I know it. I'll fight it, I will transform. Don't doubt it. Victory is in my bed. I know it. And I will not negotiate. I will transform. And when the fire's at my feet again, and the
vultures all start circling, whispering, you're out of time, but still I rise. There's no mistake, no accident. When you think the final nail is set, think again. Don't be surprised, I will still rise. You're out of time, but still I rise.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, we're gonna bring it up a little bit, right? This is one of our new singles coming out.
And you're lost deep down in the thick of it, and your heart gives out, yeah, you wanna quit. Hold on, hold on. You got two tied hands that you're fighting with, and your dad dropped down in the lion's den. Hold on, hold on.
Yeah, I know that you're scared. Don't you know, don't be scared. Cause I'll leave the light on and wait up. You wanna run, don't you dare. Don't you know I'm right here. Cause I'll leave the light on and wait up. Just come home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't need a reason, come home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This place ain't never leaving, come home.
Your bones keep down in the thick of it, and your heart gives out, and you wanna quit. Hold on. Hold on.
You got two tied hands that you're fighting with, then your dad dropped down in the lion's den. Hold on, hold on. Yeah, I know that you're scared. Don't you know, don't be scared. Cause I'll leave the light on and wait up. You wanna run, don't you dare. Don't you know I'm right here. Cause I'll leave the light on and wait up. Just come home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't need a reason, come home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This place ain't never leaving, come home. Home, come home. Yeah. Come home. Come home. Yeah. Yeah. I know that you're scared. Don't don't be scared. Cause I'll leave the light on and you don't need a reason. You don't need to know I'm right here. Cause I'll leave the light on and wait up. Just come home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't need a reason. Come home. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This place ain't never leaving. Come home.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a year since we were with you last, and it was virtually. And I'll have you know that in that year's time, you are our first live audience that we've had the opportunity to perform for. And TAPS is our family. To the great Bonnie Carroll and all of the leadership from top to bottom, and for all of the constituents that make this such a fabulous program and the honor that it brings, for your sacrifice. We just want to dedicate this next song to you, and we pray that you would feel the sentiment that we feel for you. It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Carry on, give me all the strength I need. Carry on. It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. So let the Lord guide your way. Yeah. Take every memory as you go, and every road you take always lead you home. We've come a long way from where we began. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. When I see you
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, come on, let's lighten this up again a little bit more. We're gonna go with the next song. You guys are so great. You're on fire.
You know, it's okay to clap. Come on. Yeah.
Oh, ever since the dawn of mankind, we all belong to a tribe. It's good to know this one's mine. Let's start a riot tonight, a break of lions tonight. In this world, we will stop and get anything we want. They like the top 1%, till nothing left to be spent. We don't care, we won't stop, for your mother's gonna die. We are champions, setting it off again. Oh, we on fire, we on fire. Running the road, campaign, during the whole shebang. Oh, we on fire, we on fire. Yeah. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, yeah. We on fire. Oh. Singing no, yeah. And we on fire. Hey, bang, doing the whole shebang. Oh, we on fire, on fire. Say, we on fire. You sing it, say, we on fire. Hey, we on fire, singing nothing's gonna be the same. Yeah, we on fire. Hey, we on fire, singing oh, we are the champions. Woo.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You're like, what is that?
Anybody got some Gatorade?
He just took the new ACFT. No,
Drip drop something.
hey, so we want to thank you again for having us. We love you. We love you. Love you. There's so much love in this room. I can't even begin to imagine. And I hope you feel it coming from us the way that we feel it coming from you. You are so important. And we didn't want to leave on just any message. We wanted to leave with a message of hope. Because that's what we have. That's what you have, is hope. And so wherever you are, anybody that saw me yesterday knows, you can't sit down while I'm singing because y'all got to get up. Y'all got to get up and have some fun. Isn't that right, General Miller? He's like, I don't know. But we're going to have a little fun, and we're going to close out, and we thank you so much for having us. We are Voices of Service. Let's hit it.
We love you guys.
Who do you call when everybody's let you down? Where do you go when you're a stranger in your house?
Nobody knows the weight of chains that hold you down. That heavy load, just let it go for now.
Here's where it starts. Come on.
A little hope. You gotta hold on till you find it. A little hope. 'Cause sometimes heroes need reminded that even in the darkest times, we can spark the smallest light. We can start a fire, I know. A little hope. A little hope.
What do you pray when you run out of things to say? All out of faith, and I can see it in your face.
Nobody knows the weight of chains that hold you down, yeah. That heavy load, just let it go for now.
A little hope. You gotta hold on till you find it. A little hope. 'Cause sometimes heroes be reminded that even in the darkest times, we can spark the smallest light. We can start a fire, I know.
I know.
A little hope. A little hope. Oh. You gotta hold on till you find it. A little hope. 'Cause sometimes heroes be reminded that even in the darkest times, we can spark the smallest light. We can start a fire, I know. A little hope. With a little hope. Yeah. Everybody clap your hands. Oh, let everybody clap your hands. Oh, yeah. Even in the darkest time, you gotta hold on to your life. One more time. Oh.
so much. Thank you.
We love you.
We appreciate y'all.
Before we leave this stage, please everybody look at me. Everybody look at me. Before we leave this stage, everybody look at me. If you never remember anything else, remember this. Even through your darkest times, there is still hope.
Hey.
Do you hear me? Even through your darkest times, there is still hope. And you tonight are my hope. You tonight, Taps, you're my hope. Thank you so much. We love you.
You all just experienced Taps Church. Taps Church, right there. Staff Sergeant Ron Henry. Staff Sergeant Ron Henry. Master Sergeant Caleb Green. Sergeant Major Crystal Reams and Sergeant First Class Jason Hanna. Raise your hands. Yes. You have just been to Taps Church. And on that note, we just can't top that. Do not forget your kids. I'm supposed to remind all of you. And please, we will see you again. Have a beautiful night. And thank you all so much for being a part of this amazing evening.
And God bless Bonnie and her team. Thanks to General Mark Milley. Thank you to everybody who came. Thank you to the peer mentors. We hope you enjoy the rest of the night and the weekend as well.
Thank you, Voices of Service.